holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of the dear Savior's birth.
Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth.
A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn.
Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices,
O night divine, O night when Christ was born. O night divine, O night divine. Truly he taught us to love one another. His law is love, and his gospel is peace. Chains shall he break, for the slave is our brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in grateful chorus raise we, let all within us praise his holy name. Christ is the Lord. Then ever, ever praise we his power and glory evermore proclaim. His power and glory evermore proclaim.
My name is Bobby Rexrode, and I'm the Operations Manager here at the Robinson Grand Performing Arts Center.
My name is Ryan Tolley, and I'm the Executive Director at the Robinson Grand Performing Arts Center.
My name is Emily Moore, and I am the Sales and Marketing Manager of the Robinson Grand Performing Arts Center, and I'm also the Program Director of Robinson Grand Community Theater.
I was born and raised in Bridgeport, West Virginia, and from church plays aside, but from 4th grade on, I was in a production every single year, if not more. At first, a lot of that was on stage. I enjoyed performing. Then in high school, I did take on some more behind-the-scenes tasks and enjoyed that as well and equally, and decided to make a career out of that.
Being here at the Robinson Grand as the Executive Director is an absolute dream for me. My career has taken me several areas throughout the United States in several different capacities, and I really gained a passion for live events, and really all the nuts and bolts that go into them. And having this opportunity here at the Robinson Grand was something that just sparked my interest. I had always wanted to return home to West Virginia. I love it here. I'm a small town guy at heart. But for many years I was concerned that may not be possible in doing what I love in the live event industry. And when the creation of the new reimagined Robinson Grand Performing Arts Center came about, it just caught my interest. It was like a calling back to West Virginia.
I was born and raised in Clarksburg, so now working for the city of Clarksburg, doing something that I never would have imagined I could do here. It's amazing. I went to Liberty High School, I participated in theater there, and went on to WVU and did theater there as well. And when I taught here in Harrison County for several years and taught other students to do theater, I honestly thought that's what I would do for the rest of my life.
What I was doing in some of these larger markets, I didn't think that was gonna be a possibility here, and that's what the Robinson Grand allowed for. So to be able to do all of this right in my hometown is something that I certainly don't want to say didn't think was possible, but I wasn't expecting anytime soon.
I heard about the Robinson Grand and the restoration, and that I could potentially be a part of that. It was like a dream. And to know that I'm making an impact on my community and students, I'm not in the classroom any longer, but there is a type of learning that happens on our stage.
From the time we opened, it's just we've hit the ground running, and it was kind of nonstop up until March of this year. So it was nice to have an opportunity to get back and maybe an organizational thing that we weren't able to complete once we got things started. Now we've had that chance to go back, kind of tidy everything up. Look at some different efficiencies that we could bring about, that some that we wanted to do from the get-go, others that we realized as we started operating. It was the time to get those kind of things ironed out and improved upon.
Well, certainly it has been a challenging time for our theater and our facility among many other businesses and industries across the world during the pandemic. First and foremost, when this hit us in March, we immediately realized the need to work on rescheduling our large events and really try to take a personable approach with our patrons and with our concert goers and various event attendees. That was one of the major priorities. Secondly was reducing the theater's overhead. So ensuring that we're operating still to be able to provide our services for our patrons, but really at the lowest cost possible.
So one of the major projects that I've been working on in the absence of public shows is that I've been remodeling our website and adding a lot of new features, and we worked with a local company to come in and do a 3D virtual tour of the facility. And I know that a lot of our patrons would love to have that opportunity to come in and walk through our facility, see all the changes, and not just the public side of it, but also kind of the backstage stuff and the green rooms and the dressing rooms, and to kind of have that available to our patrons and community members. That's been a really cool thing to add to our website.
Many of the things that this time has allowed us to work on in not having our typical business volume is, while we haven't had a lot of guests through the building, many things have still had to go on and run. I mean, we still have to maintain a temperature level throughout the building, just to keep what we have here safe and working.
One of the other major aspects that has allowed us to sustain during this time has been the generous donations that we've received through our various virtual events, but also our capital campaign contributors. Those are individuals and businesses that really latched onto this project in its infancy and have supported us throughout our opening back in 2018, but also continue to support us now that we've been in operation for 2 years. So they remain committed to assisting which provides us operational funding as well as funding for future events. So it has been a substantial help to us, and certainly we couldn't do it without our contributors.
To retain our patrons during this time is so important. To have them hold on and not ask for a refund and say, okay, I'll keep my tickets then. I can't wait for the reschedule. It's meant so much to us, and not only financially, but just to know that the community is standing behind us and just waiting for when we can open our doors again.
I see the future to be really good for the live event industry. We certainly have a ways to go, and I think there will be kind of a stair-step build-up to full public occupancy, to what we saw pre-pandemic. But with the fact that folks have not been able to attend large-scale live events, I believe it has created a big demand for that type of thing. I think that we'll see that demand start to come back in 21.
It's really been overwhelming to feel the community's support during this very difficult time. They've been so kind and generous and thoughtful, sending messages and emails, and being the sales and marketing manager, I get a lot of the calls from patrons. And when they ask about, is this concert going to happen? If not, and when is it going to be rescheduled? So I get to talk mostly face-to-face or over the phone with these patrons, and it's been so heartwarming to hear from them about how much they miss the theater and going to a show, and just saying, we're thinking of you all, and how are you doing? Is everything okay? And are you guys still going to be around after this? And just some of the patrons that I call for different shows, they've had tickets to several concerts. And so when I call them to tell them about a reschedule, I've become kind of on a first name basis with these patrons. I've never seen them, but I've talked on the phone with them several times now.
One of the things that has really just impressed me and warmed my heart and given me and I know our team so much hope going throughout this pandemic is how our local artists and our local arts organizations have stepped up to really rally around the Robinson Grand as a venue and other venues across our state.
I miss our volunteers. I miss them so much. They are some of the kindest, sweetest, most giving people. And they became my friends and kind of colleagues. The volunteers at the Robinson Grand are some of the dearest people I know, and I miss them.
And it's been a wild ride for the last 2 years. Yeah, one that I've enjoyed very much.
We hope you've enjoyed your time with us here at the Robinson Grand Performing Arts Center. We need your help to sustain during this pandemic. Your donations will go directly to the theater's operating costs. To give, simply check out the PayPal donation link in the description of this video, or go to our newly remodeled website at therobinson.com and click on Events and Tickets, and then donate now. You can also check out new website features like our 3D virtual tour, before and after photo gallery, and the Robinson Grand Community Theater page. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. We wish you a happy and safe holiday season. For now, we'll keep the ghost light on.